Hey gang, how have you all been? Hope you're doing well in 2025. No, it's been a while since I did an update. Things have been a little slow lately. Just I don't know. I've been kind of taking it easy lately. Just hadn't been buying quite as many knives. But yeah, I did. Anyway, hadn't anyway. I did manage to go to a few places recently. Just went to a flea market and a couple of other shops, and yeah, and I did make some really interesting finds. Found a few, a couple of vintage items, and some other things too. And so, anyway, where am I going to start off? Start up with this. This one of my recent acquisitions. It's an older 80s Bali song from the brand from the company Valor, and it's this one's from Japan, and yeah, as you can see there, it says Valor, Miami, USA, on the back there, 440 stainless, Japan. And this one has some kind of like printing on the blade here. It says Cho. Anyway, I've seen this one before. Anyway, yeah, anyway, it was definitely thought it looked nice. Anyway, I like these handles. Actually, on the short I posted, actually, one of the commenters on the video said that the handles on this thing, they kind of look like noodles, and they kind of do. I mean, that's yeah, that's kind of a good description of them. So yeah, that was a really nice one. Good find, and yeah, I got it for a good price. Yeah, next up, this was a really lucky find. This is an older Pakistani Bali song that I found this at a flea market, and it has these beautiful Pearl X handles here, and yeah, and it has brass liners there, and the handles, yeah, are all brass, and and this one actually, the latch here is on the safe handle instead of the bite handle, as you can see, unlike most Bala songs, like where it's on here on the bite handle, so gotta be extra careful when flipping this one, like to make sure you grab the right handle. So yeah, and it just says stainless Pakistan, and guess what? You aren't gonna believe how much I paid for this one. Only $2. Yeah, $2 I got this for. I mean, I don't know if the guy didn't know what he had, but for some reason I think it's worth more than that. But who am I to complain? I mean, I got it $2. I mean, ain't gonna. I mean, an old Pakistan Valley like this for $2. I mean, I'm not complaining. So hell yeah, that was a damn lucky find. Next up, it's another vintage knife. This is a vintage K-bar folder. It's a slip joint, and yeah, and I got this at that flea market I found. Yeah, and I got this one for like $50, and I think it's a pretty good deal. And yeah, and it's yeah, this one's still in fairly good. I mean, it has some use, as you can tell. The blades, like definitely, there's a little, wear on them, so this one's actually seen some use, so I mean, I can probably buff these up, clean it up a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer, yeah, anyway, so this was definitely a good find. It's kind of and it has this bone handle, I don't know if that's real bone or not. I don't know, it might be some kind of a plastic imitation, so yeah, anyway, it's yeah, I'm thinking about maybe I'll polish this one up a little bit, maybe put a little flitz on it, and just brush it up, and make it look nice, anyway, this was definitely a lucky find. Anyway, next up, and actually I've had this one a little bit for a while. Actually, I forgot to show it in my last video. I found this at a flea market for $30. It's an old Buck slip joint. Anyway, it's this one is the Buck 301, and it's 301. It's a Stockman with 3 blades here. Yeah, and yeah, and I'm thinking my buddy Tristan Barnett, I think he has one of these. I know he's a big buck knife guy. He really collects, he's really big into collecting all the buck knives, so yeah, he probably has this one, yeah. And this one's not in too bad a shape, could use maybe some polishing up, but yeah, it's overall, I mean, still has a good snap, and yeah, and its blades are still fairly pretty. They're still pretty sharp. So yeah, that was a cool find. Next up, I grabbed this at a place, yeah, for like, I think $3. It's one of the Walmart Axis lock folders. This is the white handled one. Anyway, in these Walmart, I know these Ozark Trail Axis locks, I mean, they seem really popular, I mean, like people can pick them up for like $5, I mean, it's, they're pretty nice, like they're definitely the nicest that this brand has to offer, in my honest opinion. And they're not bad knives, for what they are. I mean, you can do better, but you could do a lot worse. Let's just put it like that. So that's that. Next up, I found this at a flea market. This was anyway, $15. This old, it's a mossy oak fixed blade knife with this fake bone handle, and I mean, it's like sort of a Bowie type fixed blade. And yeah, and I grabbed it. I mean, it's it's this one. I mean, the mossy oak knives. Some of them are nice. I mean, some of them are just a lot of them, a few of them. It's kind of one of those hit or miss brands. Some of them are just kind of just borderline gas station junk, but others, are pretty good, user knives, like this one. This one's, pretty decently built, for what it is. And yeah, and so yeah, I thought I grabbed that. And also that same dealer had another mossy oak. This one's a folder that has a similar handle. As you can see, it's a lockback folder. And and I think it actually came in a set at one point with that fixed blade. I think Walmart may have had a mossy oak set like this at one point. Anyway, yeah, and I offered the guy $15 for this, as well. So I was able to get those both for $30. So pretty sweet deal. Next up, I found this at a pawn shop. It's another Rough Ryder slip joint. And yeah, this one, this is a 3-blade Stockman, and yeah, and it has these really nice blue wooden handles. I think, whatever that's made, whatever they did that with, I don't know, but it looks really nice. Whatever they used. So yeah, and yeah, this one, yeah, this one's pretty nice. Like I said, Rough Ryder. Like if if budget slip joints are your thing, Rough Ryder, is pretty much, they're pretty much top of the line in that regard, so I mean, it's like, like I said, they're like case on a budget, so yeah, and yeah, so if I always, yeah, grab Rough Ryder knives if I always see one that I don't have. It's like they're just, yeah, really nice. Like for traditionals, if you're into those, they're definitely, if you want budget options, like as far, they're definitely one of your best options out there. So yeah, and this one's in pretty good shape too. Got a good deal on it. Only got it for $20. Next up, this, yeah, let's see, hold on, hang on, this is a zombie knife. It's I think it's a boot knife anyway, and it's the brand here, it says Zomb War, and it has a bloody handprint there, and yeah, the green zombie lettering, and the biohazard Zomb War response team, and these zombie war, these zombie knives, I mean, like they're quite the gimmick, I know, but they're fun, I mean, like, they're fun to collect, definitely, I mean, they're, some of them are really cheap, some of them aren't the best quality, but they're fun things to have, I mean, definitely, just I mean, like if we ever did have a zombie apocalypse, I mean, a lot of these, I mean, I wouldn't trust them, like some of them are so cheap, I would trust something, that's more, like something, I'd use something from Cold Steel, maybe, if we ever had to, fight off hordes of zombies, I think I would trust that more, but anyway, but this thing, it's nice, I mean, it has this, anyway, it has this nice, anyway, this, so you can, like, it has this little piece on the back. You can hook it onto your belt, I think, and I think you can also wear this as a boot knife, anyway, yeah, and it just, it has this cheap plastic handle, like some kind of like injection molded, like type plastic. I don't know what kind, you know, but and then has this pretty fairly stout handle here with this nice with these nice grips on it, and the blade there, as you can see, it's partially serrated, you know, it's double-edged dagger, you know, so you know, anyway, overall pretty gimmicky, you know, but potentially, you know, like it could be effective, you know, like, I mean, if you, God forbid, ever had to use something in a self-defense situation, you know, if this was all you had, I think it could be effective, you know. I mean, it's just, you know, don't quote me on that. I mean, you know, just my 2 cents, you know. So okay, that's that, you know. Anyway, next up, I picked this up at a flea market. This frost cutlery. It's called the Italian stiletto. But obviously, you know, this thing obviously isn't an Italian stiletto. It's just a cheapo, you know, gas station, you know, a folder, you know, and but it's ridiculously big. It's 13 inches, you know, and yeah, and it's not spring assisted, actually. It's a manual. I mean, they make some like this that are spring assisted, you know, but anyway, but this one is just a manual knife with the thumb stud, you know. I mean, like, which, okay, you also sort of have a little flipper back there. You could kind of press on that to open it, but as you see, it doesn't open the whole way. And hey, look at the blade. It says, hey, like it says Italian stiletto. Yeah, but of course it ain't a freaking Italian stiletto, guys. You know, come on. Like, yeah, so, but it's quicker to open it like this with the thumb stud. It actually there, and it's kind of like the Tilite, you know, in a way, from Cold Steel. And so yeah, the bayonet blade and that, and yeah, honestly, yeah, it's kind of a novelty piece, you know, kind of like that zombie knife, you know. It's novelty, you know, to be honest, you know. Just this one though doesn't have a pocket clip on it. I was a little bit surprised, you know, unlike some of these, you know, a lot of them do, but you know, that was different. So yeah, and it's yeah, anyway, frost cutlery, you know, kind of what you'd expect from them, you know, like kind of that's the cheapest of the cheap, you know, as far as frost cutlery goes. So next up, this here is a neck knife. It's from this brand called Hunt Down, and I know it's Chinese. I've never heard of this brand before. If any of you have, I'd appreciate some more info you might have about them. Just post it in the comments. And yeah, this thing's pretty nice. Has this has this paracord wrap. You wear it around your neck, and yeah, and this injection molded like plastic sheath, and like same with the handle there. And yeah, and it's pretty nice. Has a nice blade here. There's like partial serrations on this side, and then on top it has these sawtooth serrations, you know, and you know, yeah, I think it's not bad, you know, not a bad little knife, you know. I mean, it ain't the best, but it's not the worst thing I've had worse, you know. So I mean, I've had stuff that's even worse quality than this, you know. So anyway, yeah, if it's not bad for like, I think $20. I think that's what I paid for it. Anyway, yeah, and oh, sorry, yeah. Anyway, just I'm a little bit clustered, I'm a little bit cramped here. Anyway, with this stuff. But next up, this is another Rough Rider knife, as you can see here, and this one is their Smoky Mountain toothpick. It's a boot knife there, as you can see, and yeah, it has that little shield there on the handle. Has a lanyard hole in there, and yeah, and it's pretty nice, you know. It's not really sharp on either edge. It's mostly for sticking, you know. I think, yeah, that's what it was intended for. It's, you know, called the toothpick, you know. So, and here's the sheath it comes with. It has a nylon sheath, you know, which is pretty nice, you know. One thing I don't like about the sheath, though, you know, it's like whenever you try to put the blade in the sheath and then put it back in the box, you know, it doesn't fit inside the box, like the knife inside the sheath, you know, like you can only put them in, they only fit in the box separately like this, you know. It's actually, so yeah, that's really my one quibbling about it, you know. It's just you know, it can't actually go inside the sheath and fit in the box at the same time, you know. I don't know why they do that, but you know, yeah, it is what it is, you know. I thought that was pretty nice find for 20. Okay, and next up, yeah, I found this at a antique mall. Yeah, this from this booth that had a bunch of flea market type knives. You know, it's an OTF. You know, it's it's a pretty cheap one, you know, like has this, the handle here is all plastic, and it's like not aluminum like most of them, and same with the button, it's the switch itself is plastic, but I mean, it functions well, you know, I mean, like, you know, it has good action, and, you know, I mean, I think, you know, it could, you know, it's as, I mean, if you just needed something light to carry, you know, I think, you know, something cheap, you know, that could just, if you want to like open boxes or something like that, I think, you know, this thing would be okay for that, you know. But yeah, I mean, if you want something that's that'll last you, I mean, like, it's obviously you probably would want to get something like a Microtech or something like that, you know, something that's actually well built, you know. And this thing, you know, I mean, I have a feeling like that, if you know, if I abused this enough, it would probably you know, fail quite easily, you know, like something like it could easily break, you know. It's like, so I wouldn't really do any heavy duty, you know, stuff with it, you know, like jamming it. I see it kind of, and if you don't push the button there on if you don't give it enough force, you know, like sometimes when you're pushing, it can derail like that. So so let me just just reset it, you know. And so yeah, it can sometimes misfire. So yeah, so anyway, it's yeah, I think I've had worse, you know, but it's definitely yeah, I've had much better, let's just put it that way. So yeah, glass breaker on the back, pocket clip, and yeah, that's that. And next up, okay, I think this is last but not least, this is from Armed Force Tactical. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. It's the AK-47 CCCP Switchblade, and it's modeled. They make these. They're modeled after the old AK-47 bayonets, and they make these in different sizes. There's a medium sized, and there's a large like this. And I think they make one even a size bigger and an extra large. But this was the largest one I saw at the flea market. At the guy's booth, you know, like he had this one, this large, and then he had a smaller one. Anyway, I went with this one. So anyway, here it has on the back the little hook button they use to latch it onto the rifle, you know, and has a pocket clip, and yeah, and there's the lug, and anyway, and here, yeah, safety's up here, and and anyway, it has fairly good action, you know, like on it, you know, like it's the spring, you know, like it's good, you know. I mean, it doesn't snap open the fastest since it's a much larger knife, you know, but it still has good action, you know. It's pretty good, you know. So yeah, and it's, as you can see, it's really big, hefty, you know, pretty you know, big hefty knife, you know, like for what it is, you know. And you know, just it, you know, it's made to look like a bayonet, you know. So I think, yeah, they kind of did a fairly good job, you know, capturing the look there, you know. And yeah, so this thing, yeah, it's really nice, you know, a nice large you know, automatic, you know. There, so, I mean, damn, you know, that thing really flies out, you know. I mean, it's a big old blade, you know, and you know, just so definitely yeah, it's you know, I don't know if I'd carry this, you know. It's kind of too big for an EDC, if you want my honest opinion. I mean, though, I mean, it does have a carry pouch here, you know. I mean, like, I guess that could work. I mean, but I think it would be too big to carry in your pocket, if you want my honest opinion. But yeah, but that's that. I thought that was pretty nice. Yeah, so anyway, okay, and finally, one more thing before I forget. I actually picked up a machete recently and a sword, and I'm actually gonna I have them down here on the floor.
Sorry, I had to re-edit this part of the video. Yeah, I just realized the 6 countries, the government shields here on this machete. I got the geography wrong. These are Central American countries, not Caribbean. I'm such a dumbass sometimes. Anyway, I apologize. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, this is a machete, I think a souvenir machete made in El Salvador, and yeah, and it's pretty nice. As you can see, it has this mirror polish blade, and yeah, and it isn't really sharp or anything. Like I said, I think it was meant to be a souvenir machete. So yeah, and it has the government shields here of the Central American countries. Yeah, it has it has Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, and it has this really nice a leather sheath here, with these nice work on it, with these tassels and this and the little pattern carved there into the sheath, in the leather. Yeah, I think it's really nice. So yeah, that was a cool find. And next, anyway, finally, the Honshu. This is the Boshin Katana, and Honshu, they're a division of United Cutlery. They make, all kinds of like, sharp functional, replicas of older medieval weapons, like old swords and daggers and whatnot. And this is their Boshin Katana, and I paid about $130 for this on eBay, and this thing, I mean, it's definitely not a wall hanger. This is an actual sharp, functional sword. I mean, I can vouch for the sharpness of this thing. Anyway, I mean, I almost lost a thumb taking it out of the sheath. So yeah, it's definitely it's a sharp one. So, and I'm thinking, yeah, the steel, it's 1060 high carbon steel, so it's really good, and it has this rubberized rubberized grip handle, and there's this nice pommel on the back with a lanyard hole. In this sheath, or this scabbard, they called it in the description a saya. Anyway, that the inner part, it's made of wood, it's lined with wood, and then the outside, this is leather, and has this leather wrap up here with this this ribbon tied around it, kind of giving it the look of the old Japanese katanas. So yeah, that's a really good one. Definitely if you needed a sword, definitely for a zombie apocalypse, I think this one would definitely, it would definitely be good for that. Definitely get the job done. So yeah. Anyway, so okay, so you have a nice day. Talk to you soon. Take care.